this is Sabina at Cross Keys Crafts. Apologies at first, I apologise for that yesterday. My voice is getting worse, but I still wanted to record this video. And also apologies if you hear any background noises. There is some building work going on across the road, so you might or might not hear that. So when you're watching this video, it is the 3rd of December or any time after that. For me, it's the 3rd of November because I'm recording these videos ahead. And I'm showing you what's in the Papercraft Society Advent Calendar for December the 3rd. This one today is from Creative Craft Products. I haven't opened the pouch yet. I'm doing that with you. And have a look. Oh, these are just some sticker sentiments to use. So we've got Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Birthday, Thinking of You, With Love, Congratulations, Get Well Soon, and Hello Beautiful. And we've got those in different fonts and different colours. Yeah, so not a lot in today, but definitely something I can use and will use on loads of cards. So I'll just have a think of what I'm going to make. I will definitely make a Christmas card, and I'm intrigued by these colours, so I might even make one in a less traditional colour scheme. So let me have a think what I can use these for, and yeah, then I come back and create the card. So I had a quick think and a look through my stash because my immediate thought was embossing folders. And the other thing I thought, I was intrigued by this colour scheme, and I looked at the pouch that this came in, and I thought that's a nice colour. At first I thought I used the outside, but I don't like the pattern on it, but the inside works perfectly. So I just chopped this apart. I will probably cut it down a little bit afterwards to get the right size for my card base. But I can now use this as cardstock to emboss. And yeah, I picked this embossing folder. I've got another one for the second card, and I thought this works quite nicely. I bought this as an autumn folder, but I think the acorns would work for Christmas as well. So, and then I came across this in my embossing folder storage. This is called, oh, I've forgotten now what it's called. But what this does is it's got elements in it, or one element. I've got these at different sizes. I've got one with circles, cutouts, but you can easily make that yourself if you have thicker cardstock or to use a few layers and you cut an element out. What this does, oh, it's called a diffuser, I remember now. What this does is, if you put this through with an embossing folder instead of the top cutting plate, this does not apply any pressure to the area that's cut out, and that means that won't be embossed, and I can use that to stick the sentiment on, and I think I will use that today. So all I'm going to do now off camera is I'm going to mist this piece of cardstock a little bit. I'm popping this in here. By the way, I'm using it the wrong way around, basically because I want all these acorns or berries, whatever they are. No, they're not acorns because they aren't oak leaves. I want these to be visible, and the piece that's cut out, I want to have that in an area where I've got no berries. So that's why I'm doing it upside down. So I'm putting this through the die cutting machine like this, with this on top as a cutting plate, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So I was struggling a bit to get this through my die cutting machine. I taped these two together. I thought that was better because it was moving a bit, and I ended up not using either of my thicker plates. I just used a metal shim. So have a play. It also depends on the thickness of your embossing folder, and also make sure you put the embossing folder in with the hinge first. That works usually better, but play around with it to get the right sandwich. Also depends on your die cutting machine. So when I take this out now, you can see the bottom there is not embossed, and that will be really nice. So I think I will colour this in now. I want to stay in this sort of colour scheme, so I think I'll find a green ink to colour in the leaves, and then I don't think I've got anything in my stash like that, but I'll find like a muted colour. I'll tell you what I do probably have is one of my Kuretake pens. That might even be the better option, to use my pens to colour these in. So I think I'll do this off camera, save myself the voice as well, talking you through it, and then I'll show you afterwards what I have done. I think I'll just mount this then, and we'll stick the sticker on. I will definitely, well, I'm thinking whether I would put this on another piece of card because it's just really thin. Well, it's not too bad. I'll have a think about this, and I think, as I said, I'll do this off camera, cut this to size, mount it, and then you don't need to listen to the building noise either. And then I'll come back and show you what we do with the second card. I just wanted to show you this. First of all, I made a super messy job of colouring this in, but this is on purpose. For those who are interested, for the green, I used the Kuretake pen 41, and the pink here, I used number 21. Reason being, first of all, when I started colouring in the berries, I realised I had turned the embossing folder upside down after all. I meant to have the diffused bit up here, rather this way around, but never mind. But as soon as I started colouring them in, I was going over the edges a little bit, and then I had this idea that if I could use my brayer and some ink on this, and I've got this rose gold, and manage to brayer it over the top, hopefully it only catches the edges and will just leave the recessed bits in the colour I have. So this might go totally wrong. If it does, I have to pick another pouch from the advent calendar in the same colour and start all over again. But we'll see now. I'm just being brave. So I've got this. This is a Spectrum Noir, Midas, metallic pigment, and rose gold. I bought this quite a while ago, but they were some of the, the really metallic inks. So I hope this works and I can pick it up. And the point of using a brayer is that you don't go into the recessed areas. So let me see how that works. It does work. Could maybe use different brayer. Obviously, when I go down here, that will cover this, but I think that's fine by me. It's a bit striped. So I'm just using some X's. Can you see that? Oh, I like that. So I'm not bothered about the edges because I will cut them off, but I think I'll have to do some ink blending over the raised bit. Or what I could do, dismiss my thing of having the diffuser and just put another panel on. I think I might just do that. But I like that. Just get a bit of excess off here. Can you see now how the edges that are raised, they have got this lovely rose gold colour. And then I've got a bit of excess in here in that one, but it doesn't really matter. So yeah. So I will find an oval die maybe that I can just pop on the top there, or maybe I might even cut it off and make it a smaller card. I'll have a think off camera, and then I'll come back and show you the finished card. My card is not finished yet. I thought I'd just pop in whilst I'm doing a few steps just to show you what I have decided on. So I decided against the oval die, but I found these sentiment dies in my stash. I got these years ago from Positively PAPERCRAFT. If they're still available, I'm going to link to them. I haven't used them a lot because they're a little bit of a pain, because they cut the outline, as you can see here, and they cut the inner bits apart. But I'll show you a little trick how to easily get these together. I have just put a strip of paper behind the whole lot, and I've deliberately not covered it all because I want my glue, when I stick this down, to catch all the little bits here. I don't want to rely on this paper to hold it down. And this also means I don't need to cut an outline of the whole thing. I just need to trim these two bits on the edges afterwards. And I've just used my zig glue pen just to glue this down, and that will just hold it in place beforehand. I've also got a little white spot here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I think you can. Where the little die cut had fallen out, the little dot, and rather than me paper piecing that, I'm just getting a gold pen or rose gold pen, and I'm just dabbing this just to take away from the white, and you can't even see that this is different to the other bits. And now I just want to show you how to stick your sticker on to make sure, because if you use your finger, you're never going to get it straight. So put it on like a pokey tool, and then you can hover this above here. And when you think you've got it in place without twitching, I'm a bit shaky today, just press it down, and then you've got it where you want it. So I just wanted to show you this. As I said, I'm now going to assemble the card. I'm going to cut this down. This one wants to come off a little bit, but once I've got it on the main piece of cardstock, I think it will be fine. Oh, by the way, I just used a stencil brush to just diffuse this a little bit, make it a bit more even, but I think once this is covered, you can hardly tell the mess underneath anyway. So it more looks a bit like a shadow, so that I think that'll be fine. This is my first card finished. Obviously, with me having changed my mind about putting this banner on, you didn't have to bother about the diffuser. It's just another idea I had originally. But as I said, I meant to have it the other way around anyway. But yeah, I think it's still quite nice. It's got a lot of interest with this ink. By the way, I heat set the pigment ink so it wouldn't rub off. So definitely worth doing. But it's got a lovely shine to it. So yeah, I think it's not too bad. I'm not particularly fond of the, the masked bit up here, where I've got lots of the rose gold ink. But then again, somebody might think I did it on purpose. So yeah, I think it's quite a nice card. And I'm going to have breakfast now, and then I will start on the second card. For the second card, I will stick with using embossing folders, and I've got this one here from Gemini. I will link to that below if that is still available. But this time I'm going to use the silver of the Spectrum Midas metallic pigments. And this is inspired by a video I only saw this morning by Jennifer Maguire, so I'm going to link to that video below, where she used pigment ink, metallic pigment ink on backgrounds of embossing folders. So what you need to do is you need to find the area, I've got a hair in mine, you need to find the area that's flat, where the bits are recessed, which is in my case the back. So I'm going to ink this up, but rather than using my ink pad over this, I'm using my brayer again. I try to clean it with a wet wipe. It's not perfect, so I hope it doesn't leave too much residue of the rose gold. So I'm inking this up thoroughly, and I'm just going over the background. Jennifer Maguire did this twice, so let me just move my cardstock underneath. So she has had 2 goes, which gave a bit more of a solid result. So I hope you can see what I'm doing there. I'm trying to get it everywhere, go all the way to the edges, although I already know that I will cut down my cardstock. I left it a bit bigger than I needed. And the pigment ink should stay wet enough for you to apply it to the embossing folder, and then for it to come off on the cardstock. So it looks quite good to me there. Just move this out of the way. So I'm putting my cardstock in. The important thing is not to move it once you put it down. And now I'm running this through my embossing folder, and through my die cutting machine, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I take it out. So I've run it through. I suggest you have a play with your sandwich before you run this through the first time, because I was struggling to find the right sandwich for this, and it looks a bit like it actually slipped, but I'm not too worried about that now. Can you see it's sort of like a double stamped? You can tape this down in the embossing folder. It looks okay from the back though. So I'm going to ink this up again and see if I can get a more solid ink in the background. So you can tape these shut and make sure that your cardstock doesn't shift. But as it took me so long to find out which sandwich would be the best, I think the ink had maybe dried a bit as well. So what you need to do now is you take your embossed piece and you put it on this side that doesn't have any ink and try to slot it in so that it doesn't shift. If you put it down like this, you know where it goes, and then you can close this again and put it through the die cutting machine again. So I shall quickly do this off camera, and then hopefully the result will be a bit more solid. Yeah, this is much better. I've missed a bit of a corner down there, but I don't mind too much. I could come in with a brush and just fill that in if I need to, but as I'm cutting this down anyway, this might come off anyway. I think I can wash this off just with water, soapy water. I'll give that a try in a moment. I won't leave it too long. By the way, I've just used coloured cardstock here. This, by the way, just show you this. I bought a whole pack of this. It's Pink Frog Crafts. I'll link to that below. I think I got it through Amazon, but I'm not sure. It might have been from the craft stash. So I really like this colour. I also like it with rose gold, bronze. It works really nicely. But obviously you could do some ink blending in different shades of blue or other colours in the background if you wanted to. I just wanted to keep this short. So I'm going to heat set the pigment ink quickly so it won't smear. Then I will cut this to size. This will be a 5x7 card, and I have cut a mat here just from, this is some cheap cardstock from, to show you the packaging. This is from B&M, £2. Sorry, this. Oops, sorry about that. So A4 silver card. It's not perfect, but it's quite good, especially for matting. So that's worth getting if you are in the UK and you've got a B&M nearby. So I will mat this. This is slightly smaller than 5x7, and I will cut this accordingly to have a nice frame around this. And then all I need to do is use a little sentiment strip and just stick one of these on. I like the Merry Christmas. I'm not for Happy Holidays. So I think this is all I need for this one. I might think about using some cardstock. This is not even white. This is like a cream coloured cardstock. I might add a few die cut stars, but I'll have a look once I've put this on a sentiment strip. That's my second card finished. I cut my card base from the same cardstock, A4, so I cut it to 10 inches by 7, scored it in the middle, which gives me a 5x7 card, and then I matted it with the silver and put this panel on top. I decided to die cut a little snowflake just to tie in with the sentiment, and although the sentiment is a sort of cream colour, I put that on a white card base. I just used my long bladed scissors, just my ordinary scissors, to cut that out rather than trying to get it into my cutting, my guillotine, my little one. It's so much easier if you do it that way. And I find the fact that I've got this snowflake in the back that sort of ties in with the sentiment and then ties in with the snowflakes in the back. If these are still available wherever I got them from, I'm going to link to them. If I got them from China, I won't. I could only find this one at the moment, but I've got quite a few of them in my stash. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how this looks. Very simple, but very nice. And yeah, I think I made good use of the sentiment stickers in the advent calendar today. If you like these cards, you might want to give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of what I'm creating, especially with this advent calendar, you might want to subscribe to my channel. I'd be very happy about that. And I'll see you soon with another video.